DJ Pointman here. Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice channel on Mixcloud and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Article Reactions. You never know what you'll see. You never know how it will react. You have to tune in to find out. What's going on this Saturday? Are you having summer like weather like I'm having in Chicago at 57 degrees right now? Just asking, just asking. Yeah, it's nice, I must say. And if you have history here in the last 10, 15 years, you know, for the middle of March, anything above 15 degrees is a celebration. So I've gone past saying spring and saying this is summer when you get past 35. It is summertime. And you pretty much could say it's summer because when you look at the folk out here, some of the young girls, they have the belly out. Couple of people have shorts on. It's only for a short time. They'll come out with a light jacket to shorts. So yeah, that's how they do it. That's how they do it in the shy. But I hope you guys get a chance to enjoy the show today. I know you had your weekend stuff to do. You're running around. I don't know who of you all that have received your stimulus checks. Word on the street, they started as of early yesterday, giving them out. I didn't see nothing myself, but I'm not all that excited only because I know it is an advancement and it goes against the following year taxes, so I'm not celebrating. Oh well. But what I will celebrate is who we have right here. So you all know what to do. Get hype, get ready, and welcome to the stage, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage.
Classic Ruby, everybody. Classic.
Well, good afternoon, and how the heck are you, Shar? But,
I am well. How are you?
girl, I am great. Listen, y'all are all gonna love me. If you didn't love me before, I know some of y'all you weren't sure sitting on, but you're gonna love me after today. Have I got some wholehearted nonsense for you today? Seriously, wholehearted,
Oh,
and even better, I got some wholehearted Canadian nonsense. Because some of y'all are confused and you think America's so different from Canada. Y'all don't have the racism we have. Y'all don't have the crazies we have. Y'all don't have the Karens and Kens that we have. Ah, boy, am I going to prove you wrong. I'm going to remind you of some stuff you already know and tell you the conclusion because y'all know we like a good update here. But Sean, Sean,
yes.
girl, I already saw you got a Karen. I got a Karen. And I got some
Oh, okay.
Kens. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
I'm so excited for your Karen. It's going to be a great show. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay.
all right. All right. I'm ready to spring forward. I'll pass the mic over to you. Go right on ahead. What you got? What you got? What you got for us?
There's just so many. How do you choose? All
Any,
right.
many, many, mo.
Right. You know what? Listen, I'm gonna save the update story. Y'all might remember the man in the white van, the incel in the white van from Toronto. Yes, I have an update on his story. Y'all haven't heard about him in a while. Got an update on his story. But I think I'm gonna save that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna save that, and I am going to start with some crazy Kens. Yeah, I think crazy Kens is a good place to start. Um, and the reason why is because, listen, Karen, I understand. You know, it's unfair. Y'all get a bad rap, and then women get a bad rap, and it's just women who are crazy and emotional. Um, no, no. We are not the only ones who are crazy and emotional, and I'm going to prove that with some Kens today. So I think I'm going to do these two Kens just because they're doing basically the same kind of craziness. I'm going to do them together.
Okay.
Um, all right. Okay. So let's do this first one. I know what the tab's name is now. You know, it's very important. You don't want to open the wrong tab. Right? I won't make Char's mistake. I'm going to click share audio. Okay, got that. Okay. So now, no shade, no shade, no shade, no tea. Okay. So now I'll tell y'all basically, and some of these stories are a little bit older. The Ken ones I'm going to tell you. This one's about a month old. Okay. Now, as we all know, as we all know, we have been in a pandemic for a long time. This is not brand new information to anyone. And if you live in the Western world in a heavily populated place, there are generally now laws that are, it's not even like the store owner's choice anymore, that if you are in an indoor place, you must cover your face. We all know this. It's not new.
Mhm.
Well, somehow or another, people still keep being shocked and outraged by your demand that they just cover their face while they're in your store for 5 minutes. So this video doesn't have any sound, so I'm going to explain to y'all what happens prior to this place in the video. Okay, so it was a regular Tuesday afternoon, save for the whole pandemic thing, when a random man entered Mr. Smoke in Variety, a convenience store and post office at 1116 Wilson Avenue near Kiel. So Kiel and Wilson is kind of like it's not like poverty stricken, but it's pretty poor. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Okay. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of where we are. So after hanging around the store for a while, the man approached the front counter, at which point he was asked to cover his face in compliance with the city's mandatory indoor mask bylaw. I want you guys to understand that Toronto has been in total shutdown, like the highest alert since December 23rd. Okay, complete and utter. We have not reopened in Toronto at all. It's just been like this. It is not the store owner's choice. The store owner can get fined tens of thousands of dollars for letting people shop and serving them in his store. So these store owners who get slapped with these fines and go damn near broke because it's a pandemic, so they're already getting less money. They can't afford to play these games anymore, right? So they're going to nicely demand that you put on a mask, otherwise they're not trying to serve you. Okay, so he said, we have a no face covering, no service policy. Okay, that's all he said. Now, you would think, right? The guy said, listen, I have an exemption. Exemptions don't matter anymore. Nobody cares. But the man showed the store owner something on his phone and claimed that it's a medical exemption for PTSD. So the guy said, listen, this is a store owner. Right? This is the man you can see right here in the video. He said, listen, I understand. You don't have to wear a mask. You just have to cover your face. And he tried to make it personal so that other customers feel comfortable. And then suggested, hey, maybe you could pull your shirt over your mouth and nose just while you're in the store. Okay. Then there's a 10-second pause. And then this happens.
Because they got stabbed in the face. And there you go. Let's destroy the store. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, let's fuck up your stuff. Yeah, let's fuck up the whole. Oh yeah, now let's fucking assault you too already. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, here you go. Here's the cash register. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. The narrator is the store owner, by the way. He's watching it off of his security camera.
Yeah. I wish you called me something.
Yeah. So now, y'all would think that is an irrational reaction. Like, he just started, okay, well, you're not going to serve me? Well, I'm going to just throw everything off of your counter, just going to just mess up your store before leaving. Okay. So you would think maybe this is irrational, not as much. I mean, men aren't talkers the way women are usually, right? I mean, let's be honest, right? Women like to run their mouths to make a point. Men are a little bit more physical, which might be why it is that this gentleman felt like, well, no, I don't really feel like talking. I'm just going to ruin your stuff and walk away. Cool. But not all men
What?
are created equally. Not all men are created equally. So let's look at our second Ken over here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Now, I want y'all to see the situation here. So, we've got two gentlemen, right? We have this gentleman here who is wearing a mask. He's not wearing it properly because what is the point of having a mask covering your chin and not your mouth and your nose? Do you think that that's where you breathe out of, like your chin? I'm very confused by the picture in and of itself, but it's okay. It gets better. Okay. It really does. It's amazing. Now, Buddy over here in the hoodie, right? Obviously, he's a black man. Now, he is not wearing a mask. And here's the thing, which is interesting, right? I mean, nowadays, people are so used to it and people are scared of COVID and whatever. So you do have customers sometimes trying to check other customers to mask up.
Yes.
Now, so apparently, that's the situation we've got going on here. We've got Buddy here who is not even wearing the mask properly at all, who's incredibly offended that this guy is there. And I guess he's also being served. Like, no one's not serving him. The employees here aren't complaining. But he's upset that this man is not wearing a mask. So he tells the man, now, to be fair, the way he's wearing a mask, he might as well not be wearing a mask. But the point is, he has one on his chin, at least, for show, right? How dare you not have a mask on, at least for show? Fine. So, you know what? I don't think I clicked share video or share audio. I did it already. Like, I was just so into my story. I've been so into the story. Okay. Share audio, because y'all have to hear the audio. Okay. So now let's see what happens, right? When customers feel like they are not being treated equally or listened to, right? So Buddy here says, yo, listen, you need to put on a mask, right? Guy in the hoodie says, no, and just goes about his business. He's upset that the store people are not forcing him to be wearing a mask. He's outraged. Why? How dare you not follow the rules? So let's see what happens.
What the fuck? You shot at me! Call 911!
What the?
You shot at me! You're not giving us food! You shouldn't have done that! He assaulted me! Where are we going
Right.
now?
Right. Okay, hold on. I want y'all to see the assault. Real quick, okay? So this guy, I want you to realize who touched who first. Buddy over here in the pointless mask, okay? He is physically pushing himself up on and in front of our brother here in the sweatshirt. So he is actually physically touching that guy first and trying to like force himself, no, you don't get service because you ain't wearing a mask, right? But this guy's taller than him and stronger than him. So he just kind of lifts his leg and barely shrugs it off, and he goes flying back. And now the guy's been assaulted. So let's just see it again real quick. You might have missed it the first time. It is the most amazing reaction ever. Okay.
What the fuck? You shot at me! Call 911! They assaulted me! What the fuck? You shot at me!
What the world?
You shouldn't have done that! He assaulted me!
You shouldn't have done that. He assaulted me. Yeah.
What the?
Girl, I told you would love me after today. I did. Where did these people come from?
That is ridiculous. And if you want to start off with saying what he's doing wrong besides just wearing the mask, he's not even 6 feet away.
Right.
Oh my goodness. He was nowhere on that orange sign. Wow.
And then the assault is like a guy pushing you off of him because you are physically touching him. He was like, his back was to you. He wasn't even facing you. The only way he could have touched you is if you were already touching him, which is what was happening. And all he did was shrug you off and go, don't touch me. It's not his fault. You're small and ineffectual and weak, and went flying. Right? And he just turned around and said, don't touch me twice. And this guy's response to that level of assault, not only the screaming he's doing, but then he hits and pushes that glass display case that's probably tens of thousands of dollars off has glass shattered, flying everywhere. The level of vandalism, the food
Right.
loss. Like,
911 gonna come pick him up. What the
right?
world?
You shouldn't have given us food. He assaulted me. Like, the entitlement and privilege, and the fact that he doesn't think he's done anything wrong here at all. He's just incensed that they even gave him his food. How dare you? Who cares how I reacted to being assaulted? Who cares the fact that technically, since I was up on that guy, I assaulted him first? Who cares about any of that? Right? The entitlement and the privilege is mind-blowing. Love it. Just love it.
Shame. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to, I guess, the happiest news, if you want to say that.
Okay.
Because I'm always happy when people become business owners, because we understand how this world works. You can work hard and not own anything. You just don't. You just work and don't own anything in the end. Your music is not your music. So here we have Jamie Foxx here. He has now become the proud owner of Brown Sugar Bourbon and Whiskey. I am very happy for him.
Nice.
Because he understands that all his singing, dancing, and everything else is not going to give him a nice retirement package. So he looks to invest, and he looks into things that people will use more likely the rest of their lives. And I think it's wonderful. I'm very happy for him. Very happy for him.
That's awesome.
And yeah, okay, blame it on alcohol. He did the right thing. Flavored whiskey brand BSB, Brown Sugar Bourbon, has recently announced that the award-winning actor, musician, and entrepreneur is now the proud owner of the brand. The brand took to Instagram to make an announcement about Eric Marlon Bishop, better known as Jamie Foxx. We're starting 2021 with a new look and a new owner, Jamie Foxx. Welcome to the BSB family. Cheers. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, hey, you got the song and everything. Gotta love when you have those associations and people play on the association that they're already famous for, right? Because, and that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Right. Now you think about it. You'll always, we're taught to lean toward brands. That's what the media does to us. It's just how it is. So just imagine when the other news I gave, when someone sees that little Wheezy baby has some herb, marijuana, if you will. People are like, oh, I want some of his. Yeah, I want that Lutuccio, however they call his name. We want that kind. You have, who is it, Jay-Z. Oh, we want that jigger weed, or whatever they, want to call it. So, hey, brand is a brand. It will sell. Smart move. Congratulations, young man. Congratulations.
That's awesome. Kudos to
Yes.
you. I love to see it. I mean, now we're getting into the weed business. We're getting to the alcohol business. Hey, let's dominate. You know what I mean? Dominate entertainment. We're already dominating entertainment as far as like the visuals and the listening, right? So, hey, why not just, do it all up, right? I mean, if we get into the point where we're the event planning, we're the this, we're the that, we're the DJs already, we're already the musicians, we're already all those things. Hey, you'd be like, hey, we dominate the sector. No one does entertainment unless we give the okay. Got to start somewhere.
That's right.
All right. Alcohol. Oh, man. Well, y'all know. Well, y'all should know, because y'all should be watching us on Wednesdays over there on CRBJ with Keep the Beat. But y'all know that's one of my favorite songs. So I made sure to play it. So if you don't know, now you know. Yeah. clearly I just played that last Wednesday. If you missed it, y'all need to listen. We'll address y'all later. Okay, so up next. Now, if y'all have ever heard Cerulean refer to the San Bernardino killer, and didn't know who he was talking about, he's talking about Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger, the famous incel who was super upset that girls just don't pay attention to him, and they choose Stacy's choose Chads instead of him, and it's just devastating. So he can go and kill all those Stacy's who choose Chads. Okay, and then want to kill the Chads too. So, and then now he's dead. What you might not have known is Elliot Rodger inspired people. That's right, he had followers, and yes. So now I'm going to ask y'all, if y'all remember, so there's somebody. Let's take a look over here. And I got a little bit on this because, I mean, just the claims he made were insane. Do y'all remember this guy? His name is Alec Manassian. Now, you might not remember his face, but I want you to look at him. He's the guy in Toronto who got into a white panel van and drove for a mile or two and ran down and killed 10 people. Now, this happened in 2018. It's the Toronto van attack. I don't know if y'all remember. Some of y'all might. And there was a lot of discussion and speculation at the time that, hey, you know what I mean? After we just saw the Elliot Rodgers stuff not that long ago, it's like, yeah, it's probably an incel thing and whatever. It was 1,000% for sure an incel thing. Now, what I want to do is, first what I'm going to do, I'm going to just play the news clip for y'all, right? Then we're going to go into a little bit more detail. And then I'm going to debunk his defense, okay? Because his defense is just such a load of nonsense. All right, so it's amazing because he told on himself. You know, when people sit there and freely tell on themselves and then later try to backtrack it because they're like, oh, you know what? Second thought, I don't think I want to be in prison for the rest of my life. Oops. Oh, well. Okay, let's listen to what happened. So this was in 2018. He was just recently found guilty of the 10 counts of first-degree murder and from the van attack. So let's take a listen to that.
Outside the University Avenue courthouse were survivors and families of victims of the Yonge Street van attack watched the verdict in the Alec Manassian case delivered live on YouTube. There is relief that justice has been served.
I probably will sleep tonight for the first time in a while.
It's like you're holding your breath for 3 years and you can finally breathe.
In a 68-page judgment, Madame Justice Anne Malloy rejected the defense argument that Alec Manassian was not criminally responsible due to autism spectrum disorder, saying that on April 23, 2018, the accused, whom she refused to name since the judge said it was clear he was...
Y'all heard that, right?
Yeah.
He tried to say that he was not criminally responsible because he had autism spectrum disorder. Okay. What you guys put that in your heads for later. That's the thing I'm going to debunk. Okay, let's go.
Was seeking fame by inflicting carnage on innocent people, knew not only that it was legally wrong to kill people, but also morally wrong, finding him guilty on 10 counts of first-degree murder and 16 counts of attempted murder.
It was time to take action.
The perpetrator, whom she referred to as John Doe, knew that his plan to run down and kill people constituted first-degree murder, and that if arrested, he would go to jail for the rest of his life, which is why his plan was to die by cop, saying that he fantasized school shootings and mass murders from the time he was in high school.
Wait till y'all see what happened there. So remember, his plan was to die by cop, just like his hero, Elliot Rodger. Now, I don't see an attempt here to die by cop, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll go into that a little bit more and show you exactly what's what.
Mr. Doe knew that the vast majority of people in society would find an act of mass murder to be morally wrong. However, he desperately wanted to achieve fame and notoriety and knew it was morally wrong by society's standards. And contrary to everything he had been taught about right and wrong, he then made a choice. Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Alexander Westphal testified for the defense that Manassian lacked empathy, which made him incapable of understanding moral wrongfulness. Malloy wrote, "Lack of empathy for the suffering of victims Even an incapacity to empathize for whatever reason does not constitute a defense under Section 16 of the Criminal Code.
But see, now, and why would it, right? I mean, serial killers, psychopaths, sociopaths, right? They lack empathy. It's literally a defining feature. Do you
Right.
let them wander around free because they lack empathy? Like that, like, it's like, were you even trying with that one? That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay. Let's move.
The focus today shouldn't be on Mr. Manassian. That the victims are the victims, and they should forever remain in the forefront of our thoughts.
For the family of Anne-Marie D'Amico, who was killed, they are encouraged that the judge did not mention him by name.
And if there's one thing that we can take away from today, it's that we need to protect those who may be victims in the future by those who are trying to, do this kind of fame.
A date will be set for sentencing on March 18th.
He can spend the rest of his life in jail because he deserves it. I'm sorry he took lives and he didn't care. And you know what? You just have to be accountable for what you do.
A first-degree murder conviction means an automatic life sentence with no chance of parole for 25 years. The question now at sentencing will be whether the Crown argues for periods of parole ineligibility that are either concurrent or consecutive. That means with Mr. Manassian being 28 years old, if the judge decides on periods that could be served consecutively, he may never get out of jail in his lifetime. Back to you.
Okay, Catherine, thank you.
Now, right. So that is part one there. I wanted to point that out, right? Okay, so we kind of got the story. So now, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to look at his little tirade in a van, okay? And I want y'all to see it. And the reason why I want y'all to see it is because I want y'all to understand what a pathetic coward this dude is, for real. And so we're going to watch the whole entire thing, okay? I'll like double time it or whatever. We don't have to like literally watch him very slowly drive, but it's like a 4-minute video, but we'll double time it. So let's go here. There we go. There's a thing that lets you do double time settings. There we go. And we'll put 5. That'll give me some time to talk to. Okay. So now I want y'all to see this. So this is the video of the van in full, and they're showing you every step along the way where he is. So there's the van driving.
Wow.
Right, you can see it coming through the window. Yeah. Now, remember that like he's saying these things about, oh, well, he has autism spectrum disorder, and he lacks empathy. He didn't know what he was doing was wrong, but Manassian had a decade-long fixation on mass school shootings. Okay, fixation. He was obsessed with them. That fixation morphed into fantasies of committing a mass shooting at his own high school where he was picked on. But he didn't follow through with it because, it's not easy to get a gun here in Canada. But he didn't think that it wasn't wrong to do it. He knew it was wrong to do it. He just felt that it would be a way of him finally getting the power, of getting the upper hand. And we're going to hear some of this from his own mouth in a second. Now, I also wanted to point out the fact that having autism spectrum disorder does not in any way, shape, or form make you a violent person, make you a dangerous person. None of that happens. Like it's a total bunk that he could even try to use that. In fact, if anything, having autism spectrum disorder might make you less likely to be fixated on trying to get a girl, trying to find a girlfriend, and obsessed with your outcomes on that. Right now, this is from the cop car. So let's take a look here because this is towards the end. And I'm going to slow it down so it sounds normal.
Oh, he by himself. I wonder why he ducked back.
Mm-hmm. For those of y'all missing, he's right there. He's holding a flashlight in his hand. Okay.
He know exactly what to do. He know exactly what to do.
Right. But they can see in his hand it's a flashlight. It's not a gun.
Oh yeah, they can see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can see it with him. Yeah. Mm.
He's trying so hard, right? Now, keep your eyes on this. So now he's walking forward. He would have been dead if he was in America, let's be real. But it's not America. Now,
Right.
as soon as the cop comes towards him, so he could touch the cop, what happens? On his knees he goes.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
How you know how to assume the position.
Mm-hmm. Notice he didn't. Now that when the cop got close to him, he could have started trying to physically assault the cop, right, to ultimately get the death of his dreams. But no, he was too much of a coward. He needed to be 8 feet away because he was actually terrified of the cop. As soon as the cop stopped backing up and said, "Okay, I'm gonna take 2 steps forward," he was like, "Okay, I'm done." He dropped the thing. He's on his knees. Oh yeah, death by cop. Really? Oh yeah, brave coward over here. Now I want y'all to hear again from his own lips. We're gonna listen to a couple different places of his confession. So I want y'all to hear from his own lips because he tried later. Okay, and I'm gonna explain this. Later he said, "Oh, all that incel stuff, that was just sensationalism. I was just saying that stuff to the media to try to make my murders more important. But yeah, no, it's definitely I wasn't into this incel stuff, right?" And so then they said, "Okay, but were you a virgin?" Well, I mean, yeah, but I wasn't into the incel thing. But I want y'all to hear with what alarming detail this man talks about this. So let's take a listen. Okay.
I've done a little bit of reading, and I know a little bit about involuntary celibacy. Celibacy, right? So it's being celibate, involuntarily celibate. What does that mean?
That means celibacy means someone who never has a sexual intercourse.
Right.
Involuntary celibacy means this wasn't your choice.
You
essentially have been thrown into true forced loneliness, and you're unable to lose your virginity.
Right.
This is especially painful for young males.
Right. That makes sense. When did you first? Sorry, you mentioned this, and I forgot. When did you first go on to 4chan?
2014.
2014, and specifically when in 2014?
May 23, 2014.
How were you able to remember that?
Because I remember that was a very significant day.
Okay, what was that?
That was when Elliot Rodger decided to essentially commit an uprising, a beta uprising, if you will,
right,
against the Chads and the Stacys. It was a beta uprising.
A beta uprising? Okay.
Although he didn't call it a beta uprising at the time. Someone else who was inspired by him by the name of Chris Harper called it a beta uprising sometime in, actually I believe it was October 1, 2015.
It was Elliot Rodger who was the father.
Basically, the founding forefather of the entire movement.
Right. So explain to me this movement. What's this movement about?
It's basically a movement of angry incels, such as myself, who are unable to get laid. Therefore, we want to overthrow the Chads, which would force the Stacys to be forced to reproduce with the incels.
Right. Okay. When you say incels,
involuntary celibate.
So that's just a short form for fellas who
can't get laid,
can't have sex. Right. Okay. And what happened in the Elliot Rodgers uprising? What did he do?
I know he used a gun as well as a vehicle to convert the life status of certain individuals to death status.
Right.
Only to carry the message that incels can't be oppressed.
And
right. Okay. So that was a hell of a lot of information. I mean, he had specific first and last names. He had specific dates. He had the mission statement down pat. Does this sound like someone who's no, I was just screwing with it for just for a little attention. I just said that. I'm not really an incel, right? Well, why do I think now? I'm gonna tell y'all. I skipped a bunch of stuff. Trust me. The first like 12 minutes of this is all gold, right? But we don't have time to listen to like 20 minutes of this fool talk. So I just skipped forward because listen, he says that he met and spoke to all of these names that he's mentioning. Right?
Oh.
Yes, he was intentionally collaborating and speaking to these people. All right, let's take a listen here.
Specifically, did you first contact or have contact with Elliot?
January of 2014.
2014. And when did you stop having communication with him?
As soon as he was deceased.
Okay. So his act, I know, took place in 2014, but I wasn't aware of the exact day. What day was it?
May 23, 2014.
May 23.
No idea, though, right?
Yeah. So when did you last speak to him?
May 20.
May 20th. And so what did he tell you?
He told me that he has to go. He is on a very important mission, and he might not make it back alive.
And so what did you say to him?
I kind of had an idea in my head of what he was planning, but I didn't want to think it was true at the time. So I replied and said, I wish you good luck with that.
Right on. Okay. Okay. And when did you learn that what he had done?
I saw it on the news later that night.
Later on the 23rd?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you think?
I thought that I came to the understanding that this is the mission that he had to carry out.
Okay. All right. And anything else?
I felt kind of proud of him for his acts of bravery.
Okay. All right. And what about how you started to change your thinking? Was any of that going on?
I was starting to feel radicalized at that time.
You were. Okay. And when you say radicalized, what do you mean by that?
Meaning I felt it was time to take action and not just sit on the sidelines and to just fester in my own sadness.
Right on. Okay. All right. So what takes place next?
Right. Okay. So he spells it out for you.
Yeah.
He's himself. He's angry. He's tired of the Stacys choosing the Chads, right? And his idol goes down in flames after teaching them all this manifesto and radicalizing them and inspiring them. It's time to get out there. He actually literally says,
That's the background music. Go ahead, girl.
yes, ma'am. You know, and he says, listen, he doesn't want to kill the Chads, right? He wants to subjugate them, right? They want to be on top, right? They're angry at the Stacys, so they want to punish the Stacys and kill them for not choosing them and forcing them to act, and they want to subjugate the Chads. I mean, he goes into alarming detail. He is incredibly angry, he's bitter, and he jumped on this bandwagon. Now, let me ask you, if someone who was Arab, any other thing got radicalized, right?
Right.
He's going to try to use, oh, well, he didn't understand his actions. Could he will radicalize and he has autism spectrum disorder. So that makes him, no. People with autism are actually hyper logical. Okay. They totally understand logic. They're not dummies that can be easily led and fooled. Yes. Like someone who has a very low IQ, they can be easily led and fooled and not understand what they're doing. People with autism spectrum disorder often have above average or even genius IQ.
Mm-hmm. The opposite, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's not get it twisted. Buddy wanted to be just like his idol, and if he could have found a gun in Canada without talking to a Chad, he would have done it, and he would have been in his van. He would have got out with his gun. He would have been shooting people, right? Because he needs to be like Elliot Rogers or maybe one up him. So it's like the San Bernardino killer, but Toronto, and he just got. Now, life in Canada is 25 years. They're not sure if this is going to be consecutive or concurrent. I'm hoping they can push for consecutive because he's just going to get out and do the same thing. So,
yeah.
So well, there you go. Alec Manassian, y'all. Yes, that the Toronto guy. I want to point out real quick before we move on. Even in Canada, if that was a black man, okay, holding anything that was kind of dark in his hand, pointing it at the cop and advancing, he would have been shot, even in Canada. Let's be 100. Like that's like the fact that he's alive is because of the tone of his skin. He just ran down 10 people and now is aggressively yelling at the cops and approaching them with something in your hand and making fast movements and whatever. And the gun didn't even come out. Cop didn't even have the gun out. Eventually he got the baton out. No fear. No fear. Yeah, that's what happened.
One thing to say.
Hey, why the lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God! Shout out lying.
Facts.
All right.
Facts. Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to what's going on with these car thefts and ATM burglaries that's happening in Chicago. It's something else, y'all. It's something else. It's unbelievable. I find it unbelievable. I found this morning. I said, what they doing? Let's see what they're doing, y'all.
Day. Thieves strike overnight across Chicago.
Police are now trying to figure out if the crimes are connected to several stolen cars at O'Hare Airport. WGN's Julian Cruz is live in the South Loop with the latest. Julia?
Ben, Chicago police now looking at 5 different crime scenes extending all the way from O'Hare to the north side, here to Michigan Avenue and to Lawndale on Chicago's west side. All of this pointing to the possibility that this early morning crime spree could possibly be the work of the same individuals.
They came in and they knew exactly what they were doing.
Surveillance video showing the first suspect this morning making a beeline to the ATM at OMG Spa in South Michigan. The ATM, management pointing out, not even visible from the sidewalk.
You can't even see the ATM from there either, so I'm not really sure how they even knew we had the ATM in here.
Even with a bit of difficulty, the thieves managing to maneuver the heavy machine out the door, the entire operation over in a matter of minutes. The suspects then appearing to load the ATM into a white-colored SUV, not unlike this stolen Infiniti SUV recovered by Chicago police at 18th and South Lawndale on Chicago's west side. The white Infiniti seemingly a common thread to this morning's crime spree. It all began after midnight, detectives say, at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. 2 luxury Infiniti vehicles and a Range Rover brazenly stolen from this car rental facility at the airport. A rock through the window of the garage attendant, apparently giving the thieves access to the exit gates. At least 3 suspects escaping before anyone knew what happened. Within hours, Chicago police reporting a break into a business at 3759 North Kedzie. Another ATM disconnected and dragged from the store, with witnesses said to have spotted a white Lexus SUV fleeing northbound. The dry cleaner at 22nd and Michigan Avenue with its door busted open this morning. 3 offenders captured on surveillance video, according to police, grabbing 3 cash registers while unsuccessfully attempting to free up another ATM. The discovery of the stolen white-colored Infiniti SUV in Lawndale this morning, potentially a pivotal piece of evidence for Chicago police detectives. No word yet from detectives on whether or not.
And not a scratch on the car. Not one. I mean, not one. Now I'm going to tell you. Okay, so I guess white's supposed to be pure, represents purity. So they decided to go with a white vehicle. That is no coincidence. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you about these thieves. That's number 1. Number 2, that woman wanted to know how did they know about the ATM. Their woman, their señorita, frequents that shop. That is how they know about it. They came up there to pick up their girl, getting their nails or hair done, and they checking out the place. Oh, I'm gonna get my cousin. Oh yeah, let me see. That's about 3 feet, probably about 200 pounds. Yeah, we can get that. Yeah, and they go in the middle of the night, and there you go. That's what happened. Real simple. They had it all pointed out how they're going to do it. And they did it. Think about 2 ATMs. They had cash registers. The third ATM they weren't successful with. That one was just too big. But they were on the spree. I'm like, what is going on? But they had it planned. I got to give it to them. They had it all planned out.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So we're going to go over there first. Then we're going, okay. Listen, we got to get a car that's big enough. Okay. So we can't carjack anybody because they'll really be on the lookout. Let's go with, I know. Yeah, let's get one of them rentals because it got the plates and everything. And about time they put something out for that. Yeah, we have a few hours. Yeah, that's it. I know that's what happened. I know that's how I went. I hang around. I be listening. I be seeing. I be observing what's happening. I'm like, well, I wonder what's on his mind. He looked back at something a couple of times. I'm like, yeah. And it's, we do assume stuff about people because if you're around people enough, you kind of have an idea what's going on. You don't have to be in it to know. You can be around it and figure things out. Your cousin did this, and then that look in your other cousin's eye. Oh, I hope he don't try it. And then you find out later, yep, he tried it. They locked him up.
Yep. That's how it. Hey, listen. What did they say? It's something about the idle hands or idle mind and the devil's workshop or something. Listen, people don't have. They're getting laid off. They're staying laid off. They're not allowed to go nowhere. They're not allowed to do nothing. They don't have anything else to do. Okay, and they don't have any money to do it with. And when that happens, people got a lot of time to sit down, Char, and plan some no good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you give kids positive activities and crafts to do. Because if you don't, and these are children, are innocent little babes that we love and cherish. But if you don't give them something positive and productive to do, and let them sit around for too long, they will start plotting some anarchy. Okay. And I say this as a person who was that kind of kid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't give me, my cousin, something to actively be doing. Me and my cousin once set up a bomb threat because we wanted money because my mom wouldn't buy us a bike or something we wanted on TV because she said it was too expensive. So then we saw it on TV at some point. So we wrote a letter on the computer. This is old school ghetto computers, right? It's 90s, early 90s. We were young, okay? We were young and we still came up with this. And it was if you don't, because we're trying to figure out how do we not get caught? So it was okay, I'm telling you, we were scheming. We were 8 and 7 years old. Okay, well, we can't have it delivered to the house because then they would know where to come. They would just call the police. Okay, I know. So we'll tell them they have to drop it off downstairs by the mailbox because that's somewhere we can watch from all angles, right? And we can pick it up after they do the drop. Okay, and so we made a threat, right? It said, if you don't drop off, I think we said $27 or something, at the mailboxes, by this time, a bomb will go off in the building. Don't call the police. We're watching you. Something like that, right? And then we're like, okay, well, now how do we deliver this to all the houses immediately? So what we did was we dropped them. We went to the floor downstairs underneath my floor, and we put one of those letters in front of everyone's door. And then my cousin took the left side, I took the right side, and we did the Nicky 9 doors thing. We just ran from one end of the hall to the other, knocking on every single door as we went, and got into the stairwell, ran back up the stairs. We were laughing, hollering. Oh my God, we had so much fun. We got into the apartment. And then we got scared that we probably still get in trouble anyway, and then we just forgot about it. Right. But the point is, we came up with that plan because we didn't have nothing to do. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that with kids, and you can't do that with adults. Adults, you need to give them constructive, productive stuff to do. Okay, we've been out of work for too long now. Give them something to do. Bored.
Now, you all heard Ruby's story. We got a 13-year-old here, as you see. We got a 13-year-old charged with 2 Calumet Heights carjackings. Carjackings. That means you got to deal with a person, tell them what you want done to get out the car and give me your stuff. 13-year-old. Boys haven't even finished changing because this is a male. Boys haven't even finished changing. Give me your car. Get up. A 13-year-old boy was charged in connection with 2 Calumet Heights carjacking over the summer. Chicago police said the teen was charged with 2 felony counts of vehicular carjacking with a firearm. A firearm! After he was identified as a person who took a car by a 44-year-old woman on July 14th on the 9200 block of South Kingston Avenue. Police said he was also charged in connection to an armed carjacking of a 22-year-old woman on July 15th. That's the following day and not too far from that area. So they still have that mindset. They don't go too far from the neighborhood. The 9300 block of South Ogilvie Avenue. The 13-year-old was arrested on Wednesday. He is due in court Thursday, and they have no other information to be provided. Now, just think about that. 44-year-old woman, that's his mother age. The 22-year-old, that's his sister age. So he has no regards, none. Give me your car. That's more than sneaking in your mom's purse, getting some money out. He's taking whole cars with a firearm. I'm like, what is going on? Where's the parent? Your child ain't missing. What's happening? What is really happening? But look what's happening. This is just crazy. We need our parents to say, hey, where's Timmy? It's 10 o'clock. Where he at? The news on. You seen him? Oh, I ain't seen him. He downstairs? No, I don't see him. You have to pay more attention to your boys, your kids in general, but pay attention to these young boys. You keep hearing this stuff. If he smell like something been smoked, either he's doing it or he's around people that are doing it. And it's easy to be influenced at that age. Watch your kids, folks. Watch your kids.
Right. Please. God. And then they wonder, where did he go wrong? If he had a father, well, no, if you were watching him and he couldn't go roam about, if someone was watching him, if you recognize that where he's living right now is not good, you got some auntie in some random place in the middle of, nowhere, and you send him there. Do something. You don't just sit there like, well, I can't watch him. I got to work, double shifts all week. Well, then someone should be, because he's not grown. But guess what? The streets will treat him like he is. And then guess what? So will the cops, and so will the law. So if you don't do it, they're going to do it for you. And by then his whole life might be gone. He might get life over one of these things, or something that's like life, like 70 years or 154 years. I hear stuff like that all the time. So
yeah.
Shar, but I think it was it was either last week or the week before. But I mean, you've been showing a lot of the carjacking, car theft stuff, right?
Yes.
And then you just said, why? Like, why all these car thefts? And funny enough, it's not just happening in America. It's happening apparently in a lot of places in the Western world. And this one news outlet in Canada had an answer for you. So, right? So I thought I'd play it for you. Okay. So
all right.
There is an answer. Okay. Let's take a listen.
Police in many countries are dealing with a rash of thefts from vehicles. It's not what's inside them that's being targeted, but what's underneath. Catalytic converters reduce emissions from gas-powered engines, and they contain tiny amounts of extremely precious metals. So precious, they're worth more than gold. Eric Sorensen explains what that has led to.
The thieves work quickly in cities all over the country. They like bigger vehicles. They're easier to get under. At this heating business in Guelph, Ontario, they made off with 7 catalytic converters in one night.
Our service tech started to start up the trucks. The next thing you know, all the trucks were just making so much noise, there was no exhaust systems on them.
This is what they're taking.
That's the catalytic converter.
It costs thousands to replace. Its value is first to the environment. Traditional engines burn fuel that produce harmful fumes like carbon monoxide and nitrous oxide. The catalytic converter transforms much of it to less harmful carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water. The catalyst is a metallic core made of precious metals like platinum, rhodium, and palladium. Just a few grams, but the value. 12 years ago, palladium was worth about $200 an ounce US. Gold, by comparison, was $1,100. And while it has risen to around $1,700, palladium has rocketed to more than $2,300 an ounce, more valuable than gold.
The nuts are on the ground here.
And it's accessible under millions of vehicles.
So all you have to do, pop one end off.
A dozen trucks at this Dodge dealership in Langley, BC were stripped of their converters, as were several buses at this nonprofit children's agency in Calgary. One scrapyard dealer suggests there's a black market for unscrupulous operators.
When the prices go up, the theft goes up.
Thousands of converters are being ripped off. Insurers are looking for ways that manufacturers can embed identification on the devices.
Because right now, these units aren't marked in any way, so if it's marked and traceable back, it'll hopefully diminish their ability to get rid of some of this product.
Police advise where possible, park vehicles inside or in well-lit areas, or where there are cameras, because with prices as high as they are for precious metals, even a few grams from several converters can be a lucrative night's work for thieves. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.
So there you go. So that's what's happening, Char. They are stealing the cars. Now, to be fair, right, a lot of the lower level people who are just stealing the cars and selling them or whatever, or bringing them to chop shops might not know, right? But apparently, so the cost of this metal has gone up, and that's why thefts are going up, because people are stealing, and the most valuable thing in this car is this catalytic converter. Now, if you're somewhere and you're taking cars from somewhere where you don't necessarily have the luxury to lie on your back for, a little bit and take it out, right? You steal the car, you take it elsewhere, you take out the precious piece you need, or you bring it to a chop shop if you don't know why they're asking for more of this and they're willing to pay you a premium for stolen cars, right? And then there you go. So apparently, there's a very plausible reason. It's for sure happening. Now, is that explaining all of the thefts? I don't know, but it definitely explains some of them. So this is the answer. Catalytic converters and that precious metal.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Now, I don't know about this next carjacking. I don't think this is the answer. They wanted the catalytic converter. I don't think so on this next one. But I'll share the story with you, and if you think they did it, and you let me know, and we talk about it. We'll see.
All right.
Rideshare driver attacked, carjacked, after telling passengers not to eat in car. Oh yeah. A Chicago rideshare driver was attacked and carjacked after telling his passengers not to eat in his car. Police said the driver, 56, was picking up a man and a woman on the 200 block of West Garfield Boulevard around 9 p.m. Wednesday in Inglewood neighborhood. Inglewood. So they deep in the hood there. The passengers asked to stop and order food at a restaurant during their route. After doing so, they started to eat in the vehicle, inside the vehicle. Okay, they were hungry. What's wrong with that? The driver told them it was not allowed. The passengers then became angry. Arr, 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 arr. I think it was some growling, I'm not sure. The driver exited the car and the attack continued, everybody. Did I skip something? Yeah, I did skip something. I turned my head, I'm sorry. After doing so, they started to eat inside the vehicle. The driver told them it was not allowed. The passenger then became angry and started to punch him. The driver exited the car and the attack continued. Police said the passenger continued to strike him. The passenger then got into the driver's orange Ford Escape and drove away. The driver sustained bruises on his body and face, but refused to go to the hospital. No one has been taken into custody, and the incident is still under investigation. Now I want to know, was a catalytic converter involved? I only heard about food. What you think about that one? What you think?
Oh no, this one. This one. That's what I said. Listen. I clarified.
I
Like,
know,
yeah,
I know.
some. Right? I mean, obviously, when you're talking about some of these things, okay, we understand that not everyone's quite right in the head. People get their feelings too easy over nothing. I mean, my God, we have a whole movement called anti-masking and Karens over this foolishness, right? So, not this one. No, definitely
No,
not.
I didn't think so. But I threw that in there just in case.
Right? You
Just
never
in
know.
case.
No, yeah. That's a fair question. I think it's a fair question.
And he didn't. He refused to go to hospital. So I'm wondering, was this something where it was kind of racial between the two? I'm just kind of wondering. I don't know, but because he didn't want to be identified, usually you'll say something. He didn't want his name. He just gave his age. That was it. But
Right.
because they were in the hood, they identified the two passengers. So we know who they were.
Yeah. Of course they did.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Don't
know
be
who that was.
silly. Don't be silly. Come on now. I mean, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with people attacking the rideshare people, because if we're going to continue to do this, what happens is a bunch of good drivers are going to stop driving because they're going to say it's not worth the risk right now to me. And then what happens, right? Or they're going to become hella uber aggressive, and they're going to start snapping and clapping back, and I don't mean verbally, at the littlest threat, because they'll be driving around with PTSD, but this is the only way they can make money. So like, people need to calm down. We need to understand everyone's tense. You're not the only one on lockdown, ma'am or sir. Like, we're all a little bit unhappy with the way things are going. Chill out. It's not their fault.
Yeah, because this is a lot of stuff is now customer based. So you have to try. I don't know, of course, it's not said here. This is the side of the driver. But if he would have been calm, possibly this wouldn't have happened. If he would have said, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. There's no eating in the vehicle." I don't think that really would have raised the guy's blood pressure and got him all hyped and want to punch him and stuff. But who knows how that transaction, was.
Honestly, I do, Char. And the reason why is because you're seeing people snap at nothing. Like nothing.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
People are losing their damn minds because they're so locked down, right? And it's putting everyone on edge. They're having to live with their family members that they barely like, and having to tolerate them all day without killing them, right? You can't kill your kids, right? Can't kill your mama. So you got to freak out on someone. So it's going to be the first random stranger you've seen all day, and it's this dude, right? So
yeah, it's sad to hear. That's how it went down.
Mm-hmm. Now, I say this. I'm gonna be real. Now, people make up excuses after the fact for their behavior and say, "Well, actually, they treated me very roughly. They said this terribly." And sometimes the initial interaction is caught on camera. Sometimes it's not. In this case, the initial interaction is not caught on camera. But I'm gonna tell you what our leading lady says the initial interaction is. Yes, this happened in Canada. Yes, it did. It happened in my province. I can't even say, well, it's the West's fault. It's the East's fault. No, it's Ontario's fault. Now, but to be fair, these freaks, okay, yeah, that's right. I'm calling this woman and her daughter a freak. You know why? Because that's their last name, I swear to God. Melissa Freak and her 15-year-old daughter, who we will call Young Freak going forward. Like, I swear, Freake. I swear her name is Freak. I'm not just saying it or mispronouncing your name. That's her last name. Now,
oh wow,
the video I'm showing you this a little bit later on inside of things. Now I'm going to explain. This is another masking issue. Okay, so she says she did not wear a mask due to a medical exemption, including a lung condition, a heart condition with which she was diagnosed this week, and PTSD. Okay. Now, she was defending herself online on the Twitter handle at Little Miss 13131. Okay. And she said the confrontation begins at Liberty Variety Convenience Store, right? Where she was obviously not wearing a mask. Now, she said the man who was involved in the confrontation, buddy right here, okay, she says that was standing in front of her in the convenience store and claims he heard her tell the clerk she had a medical exemption. She doesn't know the man's name, but says she's seen him around town in Bowmanville. That's where they live. No one lives there but them. Okay. He left the store first, and after making her purchase, Freak also left and got into her car with young Freak. She said that's when the man, also sitting in his car, confronted her. I see a car approaching my window. This man drives up to my window and rolls down his window and says, "You mother effing cunt." Yes. Okay. You should be wearing, yes, this is what she says. You should be wearing a mask. You don't have a medical exemption. You stupid mother effing piece of white trash. Those were his exact words. That's what she said. Okay. She said she doesn't believe the man had any authority to confront her about mask usage, as she was not in the store and he was not the store owner. As you'll see in the video, they are not in the store. I was in my own car. I did nothing to confront him or to be in his personal space. He did this to me. He was in his car with the window rolled down, not even a foot away from mine. The man then drove away and Freak headed home. Well, apparently she didn't quite head home, but Freak headed home. I left the parking lot and went to my house, and I could see the direction he was heading and thought, let me just go behind him and maybe we'll cross paths again. Do you hear what she said? I went to my house and I could see the direction he was heading and thought, let me just go behind him and maybe we'll cross paths again. So you didn't head to your house. You didn't head to your house. Stop lying. But okay. Because I thought in my mind, I'm going to let this guy know if I ever see him again, that that's totally inappropriate. How dare he act that way? I swear, this is what she said. Freak was just a few houses away from her home when she said the confrontation ensued. Okay. She said it started with the man cutting her off and pulling in front of her. I was like, are you serious? So I go around him, pull in front of him, pull my car to the side, exit my car, and this is where the video starts. So I'm not going to explain more. Y'all are just going to see with your own eyes and judge for yourselves. Okay, we got 2 short videos here. Each one's about a minute long. Perk up your ears for the first one. It's being videotaped from further away, so you know it's a little quieter, but don't worry. You see enough. Okay. Oh, what? Where did the video go? We're gonna play games now? Y'all don't want the truth out. You're trying to silence me.
Conspiracy.
Right?
I'm coming after my channel.
Oh my God, it did it again. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna zoom in so that way this window is like 200% because I want y'all to be able to see it efficiently. Let me see. Zoom a little bit more. One more. Oh no. Okay, one more was a little bit too big. Let's see. Because I really want y'all to see. I really do. It's good watching. It's definitely good watching. Okay. I'll zoom out 1, and then that should be good. Okay, perfect. Y'all ready? Are you ready to do this? Dun, 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 dun.
We are ready.
All right. Okay.
Uh-oh.
You see what she's doing? She's trying to cover up the license plate with her body. That's young Freak. Now, remember, mom is behind the wheel. Okay. Oh, don't worry. You're going to hear that better in a second because luckily the next video starts right where that one ends.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to get your ass fucked?
That's what she said. Yeah.
Sir, did she hit your car?
Yeah, they hit my car.
Okay.
We have a picture of her license plate.
No. She beat the shit out of my car. Kicked my car.
Oh my God, Beth. I know, I'm videotaping this shit. Dad, look at this shit.
It's not us. We're good.
He hit his car and now they're driving like this. Beth, get away! Micah!
Yeah. Yeah, that really happened.
Okay.
That really happened, right? So, I mean, between young freak and then what the elder freak chose to do with a child on the sidewalk is, and remember that family has nothing to do with any of this.
Mm-hmm.
So now check out the response from police. DRPS Constable George Tudos said police wouldn't release information about an ongoing investigation. Of course not. Just looking at the video, though. Looking at the video, this is what he said. I swear to God. Just looking at the video, there's no crime or anything that I can see other than maybe a driving offense. But you know, we wouldn't disclose about an ongoing investigation, said Tudos. We're aware of the video, but it's up to those parties that are involved to report it. I mean, if it's a collision and I didn't see a collision, then they would have to report it as a fail to remain a collision. With respect to the driving on the boulevard or sidewalk, Tudo said police would have to speak to those involved. I mean, were they almost hit? Were they not hit? Were they off the sidewalk? I mean, it all depends. And if there's a criminal offense, we take the proper course of action. But right now, from looking at the video, it's kind of choppy. Did that look choppy to y'all? And
No.
I'm not sure if those people have actually come forward to police. So that's the police response. So if you thought maybe the police might do something about this psycho freak, they're not gonna. And you wonder why Karen thinks she has entitlement and privilege and no one can challenge it.
Wonder why.
Right? Shocking. So there you go. Our Karen, our freak Karen. You can call her Freak Karen? I'm going to call her Freak Karen. Yeah, there you go. So officially we started Freak Karen. And yeah, that's right. You never tell a Karen that she should have worn a mask in a store. First of all, she will hear that laced with a whole bunch of expletives, no matter how you said it. And number two, she will silently stalk you until she can run into your car. And then when you try to stop them from moving, because you're not supposed to leave the scene of an accident until you've exchanged information, then their psycho daughter will hang out the window screaming like someone is murdering her before they reverse onto a sidewalk and almost plow down small children on their way towards running away.
Right. But he didn't say nothing, so okay, I got you.
Yeah, there's not really much on the video though, so yeah,
a little fuzzy, yeah.
Kind of hard to see. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna follow up with our Uber Karen.
Woohoo! My favorite Karen.
Yeah, she was acting a mess. Yeah, let me show you old Uber Karen. Here we go.
And then I got corona. Yeah, what's up? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Well, earlier this week, we showed you that disturbing video of a group of women harassing and assaulting an Uber driver in San Francisco, all because he asked them to wear masks during the ride.
Yeah, now one of the women in that video has been arrested, and we now know why. Fox 5's Nkirika Azuka is live with the story that everybody's talking about. Hey, Nkirika.
Hey, good morning. So yes, 24-year-old Malaysia King was arrested by Metro officers after a burglary here in Las Vegas. Now, this was an event that we saw that happened on Sunday, March 7th. Now, when you look at this, King is actually the one wearing red on the far left side. And to recap, the 32-year-old driver picked up the three and then stopped the ride when he noticed one was not wearing a mask. That's when the altercation started. King coughed without her mask on while saying she had corona. Metro officers arrested King on multiple charges, including assault and battery and assault with a caustic chemical because she's accused of pepper spraying the driver after they got out of the car. All three women have been banned from Uber and Lyft. Now, the third suspect, 24-year-old Arna Kamai, who removed the driver's mask and took his phone, has not been arrested, but her lawyers are saying that she will come forward and turn herself in. Now, again, King was arrested after committing a burglary here in Las Vegas yesterday, and she is being held on those charges. I'll send it back to you guys.
Okay. So, a bunch of young girls out in Vegas acting a fool. And Miss little young Karen, she's upset because, she ain't got a mask and she gonna cough and try to take the man's phone because that's evidence. She's being recorded. His mask off. The girls, they cool. You should let her do what she wants to do to you. That's what they're actually saying back there. Your girl, she's gonna go out and be involved in some other stuff.
Of course.
What in the world is going on with these folks? Well, I mean, what? What's wrong with you? Why?
Apparently, it's not her fault.
Hanging out with young Karen, that's gonna mess you up. You see, young Karen, she ain't get no jail time. She ain't going to nothing else. Now, sooner or later, she'll be arrested. But see, it always take a little longer, if at all, if at all. So I'm just saying, you better be careful with the young Karens, the old Karens too, because again, it take longer for them to get in trouble than it would be for you.
Ain't that the truth?
Shame.
That the truth? Girl, listen, I watched the whole interaction of this Karen, okay, but I watched her response to this after the fact on Instagram. She's not sorry.
Of course not.
She's not even a little bit sorry. She's not even an iota of sorry. Okay, she does not care. In fact, it's not her fault. Her man didn't tell her to act any differently. I swear to God, that's what she said. So her man didn't tell. Now she did the update in a bra and panties.
Well, she didn't have time to get ready. She had to. Am I borging? Or is that Ruby? Did I lose Ruby? Ruby, is that you? Is it me? Okay, I see my ring. I don't see any sound from you.
On the other side.
Oh, there you are.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Okay. Missed you for about 30 seconds. So whatever you said before, the other side didn't catch.
Okay. I was saying that, on one side, I kind of want to watch my racist Ken, right? Because it's great. On the other side, I kind of want to watch Karen. I want to watch this full video. Can we watch the full video of young Karen, Char?
Sure.
I really do. You know what I'm going to do? Because I think my internet is acting up. So why don't I give you the link? Because I have it right here. And it's like, if you scroll down, like it's the Instagram video. They actually have the Instagram post. And then you can watch the full thing. I really want people to see how ignorant. Because you kind of saw that, in the news thing, they snatched the mask off this man's face. But you don't really see it. Like, I really want them to see this one. Because this one is something. This is something special. This is different than just Karen who runs her mouth. Okay, these little girls are out of control, and they are lucky. They are so lucky that man cares about his own life. because with what they did to him, a lesser man would have done something to them. And really, if you think about it, all he did was listen. He noticed one of them's not wearing a mask. He said, listen, I will bring you guys to a gas station to buy one. And that's what he did. And when they refused, and he said, okay, fine, then get out of the car. I'm not driving you anywhere.
And that was fair. Yeah.
Right. You're in close quarters in his car. He was willing to sit there and let you buy the thing. You make an extra stop free of charge just to go get the thing. And this is how they respond. Like, wow. Okay.
Okay. Let's see, right there.
Yeah, it should be coming up. Yeah, right there.
I got corona. Yeah, what's up? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, now you about to get beat the fuck up. Now you about to get beat the fuck up. What's up?
You don't touch my property. You don't buy it. You don't buy it. I bought it. I worked hard for it.
In the middle of nowhere.
So,
what's up? Hell no.
So, did it like this?
Take us out in the middle of the fucking thing? Are you stupid? I really have somebody do something.
Did I told you to get out in the gas station? You didn't.
Just the disgraceful, deplorable behavior. Like, I can't even for the life of me understand how he kept his composure. He just went, okay, here's the mask. Oh, you guys see the mask? Okay, cool. Oh, here's what they did. Here's a pepper spray. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, what they did over him requesting to wear a mask and if not, get out of the car is just too much. It's just too much.
Yeah. Long conversation about I don't care. You're gonna put me out in the middle of nowhere, but you not going to comply.
Right.
In the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. You don't want to comply. It's daylight though, Char. It's the middle of the day. You're in danger in the middle of the day. Trying to tell me young women don't walk nowhere in groups? And you're not in the middle of nowhere. You're at a gas station, lady. There's people constantly driving in and out. There's shelter. Come on. You're trying to act like he pulled over the side of the road of a dark country road and said, get out. Like, no. Just no.
Sad.
Yep. And the fact that, they took his phone, right? Snatched his phone. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's that same thing when you hear women punch a guy in the face and say, you can't hit me. I'm a woman. Pardon?
Oh, really?
Right? You hit me first. You stole his property. And you hit him really getting it in the process. Then you assaulted him. You touched his face quite hard to take off that mask. He was very much within his rights to hit you back.
I was actually waiting on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right? The fact that he didn't. That's what I mean. If he was they are very lucky. If he was a different person, they would have had a completely different experience. And the fact that they're just getting little slaps on the wrist kind of infuriates me, because where's the protection for the Uber drivers who are keeping their cool and who aren't reacting? You got to think about, they get a lot of attitude, they get disrespect, they get all kinds of stuff, but they bite their tongue, they smile and nod. But this, who's raising these children? Someone needs to start.
Yeah, you get a sense of your child. You get a sense of them. You have to be there 24 hours, but you get a sense, whether it's the way they say something on the phone, their body language, it's something going to give, like, oh, I got a wild one here. Mm-hmm. Something. The friends, something is a telltale. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Earlier, the other story I was saying, I put out there maybe, my little positive self. I had said maybe if the guy would have said, hey guys, there's no eating, maybe it would have been a different outcome. Mm-hmm. And you're like, girl, no. I couldn't do nothing but agree, but I had to throw it out there because we don't know. But this is all customer service. We see it in a store. A person could be behind the counter just trying to ring the person up. The person gives them attitude, there's security there, cameras, everything, and that customer does not care. They just give you attitude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you something, because I was a teenage girl once, and I tell you we weren't quite this bad, but we had the same attitude. That attitude of you can't tell me nothing, and how dare you tell me something I don't want to hear, right? And you have that, especially when you're in a group and you're in a pack mentality. And you have it. Who the hell do this woman think she's talking to? She couldn't be talking to me, or she don't know me like that, right? And mostly you're just fronting, right? You're capping with your friends because you want to be cool. But you wouldn't actually literally go off on an adult man like that in that situation when he didn't do anything to you, right? If anything, what we would have been trying to in the situation, like, I mean, I've been mad at a cab driver before. Once a cab driver locked the doors on me and drove me to a police station because, as I regularly did, my grandmother would send for me in a cab. And her balcony faced the front door. So if you pull up to the front door, she'd be there. And what she would do is she would put the money inside of a bag and drop it from the balcony. And it would land like right there.
Yes.
So I told him, like I said, listen, this is my grandmother's right there. You can see her on the balcony. She's holding a bag. She's going to drop that bag onto the ground. And I'm going to get it and pay you. Oh no, not this stuff. You guys have done this enough to me. Called me all the racial slurs and whatnot, locked the doors and drove me to the police station. Right. And I was incensed. I was infuriated. And I was going off at that point. Right. I mean, this guy had been ignorant the whole time, but I was trying to but then all of that, I was like, not to the police station. Oh, she's trying to drive and dash or whatever, is trying to theft and whatever. Lock her up. And I have angry tears streaming down my face. They're like, what happened? Well, this is what happened. I said, so if I call your grandmother right now, then she'll say that that's what was happening? Yeah, 1,000% call her. And that's what they did. And they went, sir. And they said, sir, you fucked up. Right. And that was that. Yeah. Right. But the reason why he did that is because of how many times has he been run out on? For him to react that strongly and have zero credit, zero trust, right? How many times the little teenagers go run out on him, and what can he do about it, right? So then eventually they snap, and that guy, like, it's like that. He's gonna snap eventually. Hopefully he doesn't come, he gets a lot of support, and they don't just say, well, too bad, you should have tolerated it, right? Because otherwise he's gonna snap, and next time the next little rude girl's not gonna be so lucky.
I agree. Well, guys, it has been fun. Please spring forward, everyone. Lose that hour of sleep. I know you want to lose it. So it will be what, 9:04 and 10:04 for some of you. It's going to be okay, though. You're going to be a little upset Monday. You're like, but Tuesday, you'll start slowly getting into it. I promise you.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
No, I refuse. Yes. I refuse to be looking forward to this weekend. I refuse. No, I don't accept it until like summer. No, nope, not doing it. Nope.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't be like that. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate. Thank you for your likes and shares and all that good stuff. That is support, and I do appreciate it. Thank you for coming through. Please be safe this weekend, spring forward. And check us out on Wednesdays on CRBJ, Classic R&B and Jams. And I'll play the commercial on the way out since you may not know. And for everyone, peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice channel on Mixcloud and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded.